Corncrake Friendly Mowing by Rosewood Farm. The corncrake was once a common species in the UK, and it's hard to deny that modern farming methods are responsible for pushing the species to the northwestern fringes of our islands. They spend only the summer months in Western Europe, breeding here before returning to winter in sub-Saharan Africa. They are one of 3 globally threatened species identified by the UK Biodiversity Action Plan. A secretive bird, the corncrake is more often heard than it is seen, preferring to creep and hide in long vegetation to avoid danger rather than flying away or crossing open ground. This is particularly the case when nesting or with young chicks that are unable to fly. This characteristic behaviour is the major reason why corncrakes have been so vulnerable to modern farming practices. Traditional hay cutting by scythe would start at one side of the field and continue to the opposite side. This, along with the time taken to mow a meadow, allowed the birds to escape through the uncut crop. Unfortunately, the introduction of mechanical mowing, first by horses or oxen and later the tractor, changed the way meadows were cut with continuous initial mowing around the outside, creating open ground and cutting off their escape route. Further changes included the cutting of meadows creeping forward into June or earlier, particularly as the technology developed to make silage, which requires less continuous dry weather rather than hay. Although, as their name suggests, corncrakes were once associated with cornfields too, feeding on the seeds and insects in weedy crops, the advent of pesticides completely removed this habitat. In 1992, a reintroduction programme was started by the RSPB on its reserve in Cambridgeshire. Along with conservation efforts in the Western Isles of Scotland, the numbers rose but their range remains limited. Meanwhile, the Yorkshire Ings was the only place in England that managed to hold on to its natural breeding population, despite almost becoming extinct here in the late 1960s. This has continued to the present day through legal protection of the habitat in the Lower Derwent Valley SPA. Although the birds prefer cover, they favour lighter vegetation that is removed at least annually by either cutting or grazing. Cattle grazing near hay meadows provides areas of longer vegetation for the birds to inhabit between the hay cut and migration. The recent decline of cattle grazing in the valley puts further pressure on the birds. The good news is that while chick mortality is high, this provides plenty of potential for recovery of numbers by improving survival rates and encouraging fledgling of second broods. Our cattle grazing in and surrounding the Ings provides some safeguard against habitat loss, but as we also manage traditional hay meadows, we didn't want to contribute to their declines. An internet search revealed very little practical advice or experience of corncrake friendly mowing techniques from anyone who had actually carried it out. All of the available guides contained simplistic diagrams of mowing patterns that didn't really represent real-world scenarios. It was clear that if farmers like ourselves are to be encouraged to adopt corncrake friendly management, then providing practical advice on how to go about it is an absolute necessity, so we decided to document our experiences. If you know of any alternative methods or have experience of corncrake friendly mowing, please contact us on Twitter @Rosewood Farms or on Facebook by searching for Rosewood Farm.